Let's Talk Oculus, a VR podcast, is proudly sponsored by the good folks at Patreon. If you want to support the show, join us on patreon.com/Let's Talk Oculus. What's up, Oculus Stars? Welcome back to Let's Talk Oculus, episode 210. I'm your host as always, and Dan, joined by my co-host as always. It is Samson. Samson, it's 210 episodes. We're already 10 weeks in. 10 weeks ago, we had our 200th episode. Pretty
wild. 200 episodes ago, we were on episode 10.
Yeah, that is correct. Yeah, that's good math right there. How's things? How you doing?
Well, it's October. It's Halloweeny, so I got an incy-wincy bit of Halloweeny spirit in me. Nice. And, we'll hear about that later on.
Oh, okay.
Little tease, we'll sprinkle it in. But how you doing?
I'm doing well. It's it being October, we've had, we had Star Wars at the start of the year, start of the month. We had Reach, and now we've got Arken Age that we're going to talk about. And it's been great. I've played a lot of VR, only just for like one game, but a lot of it, which is kind of nice. And I'm always excited to play. And I've been playing it in the mornings before leaving for work as well.
Morning, huh?
I've actually enjoyed playing more in the morning than I do after work. And I think that's just because I'm on a screen for most of the day. So when I come home, going into VR is kind of exhausting. But on the weekend, it's fine. But for some reason, before work is always better for me. Yeah. I don't know why.
Your eyes haven't burnt out yet.
Exactly. Yeah, I wake up and I'm straight in VR. My reality is all over the place. So, all right. Thanks everyone for joining in to this episode on your commutes, on your, I don't know if you're listening to this in the washroom or wherever you're listening to this. But we appreciate you stopping by. Today's episode.
If you're cooking, check the oven.
Yeah, exactly. And today's episode is going to be more focused on Arken Age more than anything. It's the big game that's coming out as of now, I guess, when everyone's listening and watching this episode. So it's already out. It's $30, which is an absolute steal, to be honest.
Cheaper than on the other platforms.
I bought a book today. I bought a book from the shop. It cost me $23 Canadian. Arken Age is currently on pre-order, $33 Canadian.
Wow. Is this a local? You supporting the local bookshop? You got?
Unfortunately, not. It's a big chain. It's a big chain, but it's the nearest one to me. But I just thought the book, and then you've got Arken Age. This is great value for money when it comes to a game like Arken Age, to be honest.
Not to get too off topic, but have you seen You've Got Mail?
No.
You should check that one out.
Interesting.
It's about a big chain of bookstores and a small chain.
Oh, okay. I shall have a look at that. But before we get into Arken Age and everything else in today's show, Samson, housekeeping.
Housekeeping.
If you haven't joined already, the Discord the link is below. We had a few new Discord members recently, so welcome. To those new Discord members. In there, we've got a bunch of people playing Walkabout more than anything, but there's other games as well. All the chatter in there. And episode discussion as well. Hashtag episode discussion, which is the channel where you can post questions, but there's been a lot of discussion about beets and broccoli and food based on what we talked about last week's episode. So if you haven't listened to that, you have no idea what we're talking about. But join in. It's all good fun and completely free to do so. Speaking about Walkabout, though, there is a weekly Walkabout tournament that's hosted by Healing Entree. Samson, do you want to give us an update on that before we move on?
Yes. Since we have so much to discuss, I'm going to skip over our normal score breakdown of last week. But this week, if you come on down to our Discord, you can submit your scores to Healing Entree for the easy mode. We have Wallace and Gromit. Thank you, Joel. And on hard mode, we have Gardens of Babylon. Thank you, Kimmy Kai.
Nice. So you can join in. You'll have a week to post your scores. and have them ranked against the rest of the Walkabout crew. And there's always Walkabout
get-togethers, hangouts.
Get together. That's what I was meant to say. Thursday night, 7 p.m. I was in that one last week, 7 p.m.
You were.
And also on Sundays, Samson's you host a Walkabout get together.
More of a Walkabout soiree.
Soiree. Yeah. Yours is slightly different on Sundays as well. So going down to the Discord to join any of that, there's a Walkabout channel in there.
I believe this weekend, November 2nd, I will be playing in the morning. I believe I set it for 9 a.m. It might be 10 a.m. I don't remember. Eastern. And we changed the clock back that day, just to throw in a curveball.
On the video podcast, something funny happened. The Patreon as well, letstalkoculus@gmail.com. You can, not Gmail, patreon.com/letstalkoculus. You can support us at Patreon. If you support us at $5, then you'll get this episode early. I don't write these things on the script anymore, so it all comes from memory because we're 210 episodes. But that's why sometimes you mess up what you're trying to say. And then comments. If you want to put in your comments, the episode discussion on Discord, as I mentioned. You can also comment on Spotify. You can comment on YouTube, etc., etc.
Got a lot.
Yeah, we got 3 comments here. Samson, do you want to read the first one, which is from Spotify?
I would love to. Matt on LTO 207. Hey guys, thanks for another great episode. I'm a big Star Wars fan, and I have all the other Star Wars games on Quest, and have really enjoyed them. After hearing your review of Beyond Victory and seeing some gameplay, I think I'm going to wait for a sale to pick this one up. I felt Galaxy's Edge had a decent amount of content, and it was only $25. With how short Beyond Victory seems to be, and a missed opportunity for a good first-person pod racer, I'm not sure if it's worth $20.
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, to be honest, $20 nowadays, it stretches a long way compared to other games that are out now, especially on the flat screens and all that stuff. But I feel like if you wait for a sale or just get like a code or a referral code or something like that, you might be worth it.
Bring it down a little. Yeah, I think this was pretty much our or at least my recommendation was, if you're really, he is a big Star Wars fan, but I understand, you know what it is, and the sale price, I think, will be make it worth it for. If you're really just going into it for that story, it's pretty short.
Yeah, it's honestly for $20, it's a fun hour and a half, right, max. So
I think it was a little over 90 minutes for me. Yeah.
Next comment, Jeff LTO 208. I've basically forgotten some of these comments, so I'm adding them into this one. He said, "I'm in fact listening on Tuesday," because Samson, on that episode, you said
we got Happy 2 Tuesdays. Tuesday. Yeah, because Shoes in the Discord said,
yeah. And it helped, I think, because that episode was, I'm pretty sure that was the one that was delayed.
It got delayed, yeah.
Yeah, so that helped as well. Anyway, he said, "I was busy all weekend at TwitchCon. Lots of new cool stuff there." Very cool.
Very cool.
Samson, the last one?
I'd love to read the last one, Dan. From Mr. Drenix, LTO 209. Listening to this podcast on Apple Podcasts right now. Wanted to come by and support you guys. Been listening since July, when I decided to finally jump in and get the Oculus Quest 3. Quality and entertaining. Keep it up, gentlemen. Thank you. Thank you very much.
And definitely
Glad
comment again.
Yeah,
I'm really curious of what your favorite game is so far, or what kind of games that you're interested in. Maybe we can suggest some. Samson, one more thing, kind of a new segment that you suggested. I thought it was great. We're
I'm always thinking, Dan. I'm always thinking.
We're episode 210 right now, so it's always. I think it'll be fun now and again to just look back 200 episodes ago and see what was happening. So, Samson, 200 episodes ago, the title of this show, so obviously episode 10, is VR lame right now? Sniper Elite VR reviews, and Madrid Noir, and more. The release date was the 8th of August 2021. And the description, well, I won't read the whole description, but the start of the description is, the first ever solo podcast is here. With Samson away, I somehow managed to talk for almost an hour straight. And the runtime is like 52 minutes. And Samson, I remember recording that when I remember just being in my room and the mic was on and I was just talking into a void for the whole hour and trying to like piece something together, but just yapping. And after I finished that, I was like, I don't know how many people are listening to this, but I hope it's at least more than one, because I just talked to myself for a whole hour.
It was before we had Mike.
Yeah, absolutely. What do you think happened in that episode, Samson, from that title?
Well, did you play Sniper Elite? I'm not sure.
I did.
Okay.
I did.
So,
yeah,
but I don't remember your thoughts on it. So I imagine you talked a bit about your thoughts, and you probably compared them to the out there reviews. Mm-hmm. And is VR lame right now? I'm gonna guess you said no.
Yeah, I think I said no. I don't remember if I actually did review Sniper Elite in that specific episode, or I was getting to it, because I don't think we ever had a code or anything like that. So I may have just been talking about it without actually playing it on that episode. But I remember for Sniper Elite VR, I was really sad that there wasn't like the VR traits of, let's say, you have to reload like properly, or when you're throwing a grenade, I think was the biggest one, where when you throw a grenade, you just have to hold a trigger and then a pointer comes out and then you let go without actually grabbing it and actually throwing it. And I think I was saying how like Medal of Honor is way better, and I think I'm still saying that from today. And Madrid Noir, that's like a VR movie kind of thing, where interactive movie, which is pretty good. It's not one of the best ones, but I remember having a good time with it. To be honest, but yeah. Yeah.
Oh, that's where you're kind of like a detective, right? And you're like, you're with maybe your father or like a father figure type of deal, and you're trying to do things so they don't notice.
Yeah, they're in the foreground a lot and such. Yeah. It's not the wolves. The wolves and the walls was one of the better ones. And definitely the one that you should check out over this one for sure.
I remember having fun in this, though. It was a good little adventure, yeah.
I think it was like $10 or $5 as well. Like it was fine.
Madrid Noir.
Yeah. All right, that was 200 episodes ago. Let's talk about today and how things have changed, Samson. We were worried about if VR was lame. With Arken Age, it is far, far from lame. Samson, we've both been playing this game. You've been playing on PSVR 2. I've been playing on Quest 3, which is the new version of the game that's coming out this week. Obviously, it's been on Steam and PSVR 2 for a while. I checked just before this show, and it's still on sale on Steam as well. So if you are on PC VR, I would definitely recommend to dive in. It's only $30 USD. That's after the pre-order sale is gone, so I think it's even cheaper. And I know a bunch of our listeners have already pre-ordered it as well, from probably our initial thoughts in early October, where we looked at the first 30 minutes of the game and they already pre-ordered. But honestly, pre-ordering it at like $25 is you're not really going to lose, and plus you'll have the 2-hour refund policy as well, right? If you really did not like the game. But Samson, this is the big one. This is another big one from this month. We've had Reach with Star Wars. This is the third big one. We have Deadpool only 2 weeks away in November. So this is game crazy. 3 out of 5, as I would say the big like IP / big games in general. Thief being the fifth, which we don't really know when the release date is out. So Samson, you've played it on PlayStation VR 2, and you're all the way up to the last boss, and you've just not beaten the last boss yet, right?
This is correct. The final boss taken me down a couple times, and then I took a pause till next weekend.
That's fair enough. And I've completed the first boss, which is 40% into the game. So I haven't got as far as Samson, but I've gotten to the next major step, shall I say. And there's a lot to dive in, Samson. There's a lot going on with this game. I think we should probably start with our initial feelings, probably, and then we can dive into specific items of it. So do you want to start? Do you want to go with your initial feelings after playing pretty much the whole game?
Initial feelings. Good.
Good game.
No, I like this. I like this. I like this a lot. Well, I guess I'll talk a little bit about like the gameplay loop or whatever, right? So I do really like this gameplay loop. Essentially boils down to you enter a room or a new space, and then I clear all the enemies, or you clear all the enemies, and then I start to figure out what the heck I'm doing.
Right.
So then,
so you just go into a new area that you see, and you kill everyone that you see, and then you start looking at your map and such, and going, okay, what am I actually doing here? That's what you're saying. Right,
precisely. Because I don't want, while I'm like trying to figure out what I'm doing, I don't want to have to worry about like an enemy seeing me. And once you clear an entire area, you're good. Like you've got to go, I think you got to go a ways away before they respawn in, I think, right?
Sometimes they don't respawn at all. You might get the odd one or two, but they only come in really when you're progressing in the story and there's more enemies meant to come in. So, yeah. Once I've cleared a room, I open up my little inventory thing that has my map, and then I check, look for the things, and I just really enjoy you just look around. You just walk around. You look behind crates. You look in crates. A whole lot of exploring. You'll find a few secret areas. Climb pretty much anything. And then you go to the next room and you kind of do it all again. You figure out, and the story is progressing through each way. It's not like a roguelike where you're just like clearing rooms in that way, but there's something you've got to figure out to get to the next room. In the most general of senses. I don't want to give spoilers here. Yeah. It's a classic adventure game. In the end of the day, it's a classic action adventure game. It's not trying to do something completely new in that genre that's not already been done before, but it's just a classic action adventure game, and that's absolutely fine, right?
And then once you've cleared that room or figured out what you're doing there, you move on to the next area, and before you sort of get to that area, there's usually a space to upgrade your guns, make all those health syringes, things of the sort,
crafting and such. Yeah,
exactly. And then you sort of progress on, and it's a very addictive loop. And I've been playing on easy because the combat whooped my ass at first, and that's just like a big turnoff for me. If I'm just like constantly dying, I don't have the kind of like patience or endurance. Like I'm old. I just want to try and see what else is out there. But I will say, now that once I get through this final boss, I don't think I'm going to turn up for this final boss. But I do want to go back through again now and turn up the difficulty a little.
Well, there's New Game Plus as well, so you can play it again with all the upgrades that you've gotten throughout the game, which is going to be... Actually, I think that's going to be a really fun way to replay the game. 100%. With all your abilities and such, for sure. And
there are guns that you've gotten that I've still not gotten. Yeah. So there's a wide variety, and that really keeps me wanting to come back. What were your initial impressions?
My initial impressions before we dive deep into this is this game is excellent. It's up there with Ghost Town as one of the best games this year by far on Quest 3. It's, like I said, it's not trying to do anything crazy or reinventing the wheel. It's just really fun, and the developers have put so much thought into the world as well, and thought into the game. Like little parts where there's no way to get soft locked. Like there's I thought I was at one point with an elevator, but they thought about it. They
There
have
is
an elevator
kind of
button.
one way.
What's the one way?
Well, so you need, I guess, minor spoilers here, but you need an enemy's head to progress on. And if you're using the like gravity mace thing, there's no way to chop their head off with that.
Oh, I think if you kill an enemy anyway, sometimes their head is just there, and you can collect it. Yeah. But you do need to. There's no. I don't know if there's any warning before you move to the next areas. And hey, you probably should go back and pick that head up. So okay. So initial thoughts. We both really like it. Like it a lot, and we'll talk about that in a second. For those of you who maybe didn't hear the episode that we talked about our initial impressions when we first played it, this is an action adventure game. It's very different to Reach as the other big game that came out this year, where Reach is more for it's more of a adventure puzzler game. Think a game like. I'm clutching at straws here, but think of something like Assassin's Creed or Uncharted, those kind of games, but ignore the combat aspect of it, of those games. And that's like the most distant relative I could think of on a flat screen basis. This game is your classic action adventure game. Honestly, think of a game like Halo. It's not obviously like Halo. It's not a first person
fantasy
shooter.
Yeah,
but it's that kind of, it's like it's an action adventure game in the end of the day. And it's you go through different, not levels, but different areas, which are basically the levels itself, which is why the comparison of Halo of going to different areas, moving on and such. But that's pretty much what the game is. That's what you're getting into. You can play the seated, you can play the standard. It does a collaboration at the start to tell you what your height is, so it can get it correctly, which is really important for enemies also trying to fight you, because then they can jump towards you and such, and they kind of know your height and whatnot. So you can play it seated and standard. I've always played it standing. Samson, I'm assuming you pretty much played it standing. Yeah. And throughout the game, as you're going in, you have 3 weapons. Okay, you have let's say a melee weapon, you have a pistol-like weapon, and then you have like a heavy weapon that's over your shoulder. They are 3 main weapons that you can upgrade and such, and we'll get into that in a second. And then also there's a whole story arc with a few characters in there, a few different. Basically, there's 2 different tribes, shall I say, or species?
Factions.
Is that what you would? Yeah. Action species or so, and one has taken over the other, essentially. It's the Grand Arborist is what the main person or main species is, and they've taken it over from I forgot, Samson, I'm blanking here of what the actual
you followed the plot already. Okay,
yeah, the Nara.
You followed it a lot more than I did already.
The Nara alien race. Yeah, it's not much like the plot's not in your face, but I am enjoying the plot a lot, and we'll talk about that in a moment. Just a few more facts here, though, Samson. You've got physics-based combat when you're fighting the enemies, which actually works really well. There's 32 weapon mods that you can get. There's it's a 10 to 15 hour campaign, depending on 10 hours probably if you just do the main story. There are side quests. They are small. They're not like anything crazy from an RPG or anything. But if you were to do everything and try and find all the collectibles, it probably will take you another 5 hours or so. There's climbing that's involved. There's swimming. Technically, you can go underwater. It's not like you're actually doing the swimming motion, but you.
Did you try it? You can do it.
Yeah, that's true. I think that's true. I'm just watching the trailers. I'm talking here, and they are doing the swimming motion. So maybe ignore that. Maybe I just haven't been doing the swimming motion. I think I've tried it a couple of times, and it didn't work too well.
It won't work if you're like holding the joystick too. But like if you do just that, I think.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean it's no subside, but it does propel you.
So maybe I gotta I gotta try that myself. But yeah, so that's the main parts of the game, and stuff that you can do inside it. You have, like I said, this main story arc. You have obviously the combat against the enemies, but as Samson was saying, there is some crafting. Now it's not crazy crafting, but it's more like it. You have a bunch of inventory items. You go to a let's say an inventory desk, shall we say? Station. Yeah, that's the word. And it will tell you what you need. And then you just, like, for example, if you're making the health syringes, you need to get the low-hanging fruit from the tree. And I forget what the fruit is called. But then you have to bring it to the station. You get this, like, torch, basically. This flame, and you burn off all of the parts of the fruit.
It's a pretty cool little effect.
It's really cool. And then the particles go into the shall we say, the machine. And then if you have enough, it can make the syringes, and the syringes come out for you as well. Really freaking cool. You've got crafting, as mentioned, up to 32. That's found by, like, floppy disks, shall we say, or chips, shall we say. And you could just find them. They're like collectibles in a way. I think the first initial ones are probably, like, given to you in a way, like you can find them really easily because it's showing you. But as you get more and more into the game, as Samson mentioned too, I've got weapons that he's not seen, and I'm probably sure as we talk about it in a moment, you've got weapons that I haven't seen, especially because you played more of the game, which is pretty crazy too. So there's so many more, like, different guns and different ways you can kind of mod your gun to try and pick what you prefer. You can paint your guns as well, so you can change the colors of them, and you can kind of decide with all the different color palettes, and you just spray the paint on it. It's really fun.
It's very fun.
Really customization. Yeah. That's what I mean by, like, when I said in my initial, where they really thought about everything. And it's a real VR first game, and it's a complete joy to play. So Samson, before we dive deeper, I just want to quickly mention the performance on Quest 3 for everybody listening, because obviously from Reach, a lot of people weren't happy with the performance. As I mentioned last week, the performance wasn't bad on mine. It actually was fine, but that's not the case for a lot of people. So performance on Quest 3 for me, I am on the press build, which I got at the beginning of the month, and so I don't think it's been updated at all. So it might be a little bit different when everyone gets it, but apart from the occasional, like, pop-ins, and there's definitely a draw distance limitation. Like, as you're walking, you can see the, like, fixed foveated rendering, shall we say, so you can see when it will get sharper or not. It's not a big deal because
like the texture pop-in?
It's textures, yeah. It's not, yeah, that's exactly. There's a textures change, and you can see kind of the line. If you look down to the ground and you can see, and you follow it, you can see the line. If you're just walking and you're just looking straight or looking round, then you're fine. But if you're looking at the ground, you clearly can see where it's starting to render it. I wish it was a bit further, but maybe that's just the case. But it doesn't take away from the game at all. It looks like a solid, on Quest, to be honest, a solid, like, PS2 game, if anything, which is honestly totally fine. They've done a really good job with optimizing performance. There's no real bugs, to be honest. There's the occasional, like, you can hit an enemy and it goes into a weird spot, but that rarely happened, to be honest. And like I said, I'm on the press build, so I'm sure the build is actually even better. I'm hoping so anyway on the release. But yeah, when it comes to performance issues, let's say 0 out of 10 being unplayable, 10 out of 10 being flawless, this will sit like maybe an 8.5 to 9 out of 10. Like, this is really well optimized. It's a great port of what they've done here. But yeah, so Samson, let's talk about some more things in depth. So you mentioned a little bit with the gameplay loop itself. Did you enjoy the aspect of trying to find the collectibles, or, like, hidden pathways and such, or side quests? Did you do any of those?
I mean, I think I did a couple of them. I really like looking for those little green triangle pyramid things. Those are pretty fun. They're always, like, off in the distance, or
on a tree or such.
You walk out of a building and then you happen to look backwards and look up, and you'll see, oh, I see what you did there. or underwater they'll be behind something. I'm not going to tell you where they all are, but you want to do some exploring, and your map will tell you where they are if you so chose to have it tell you.
Yeah, and you just shoot them, and then
little orbs come flying
at you,
which is really cool when it comes from really far away. They just home in on you. I am really enjoying like just exploring, and the platforming is fun. It is also one of my only negatives, I guess. But like if you do like a big platforming bit and then you fall, oh man, dude, do all that
you
again.
have to climb all that again and such. Yeah,
it kills me. It kills me inside. But most of the time I fell, it was because of my own fault, or like I was trying to go too fast. I was rushing. Really, I love the guns, Dan, and I also really love the hand-to-hand combat. So I love the combat, I guess is what I'm trying to say. But really, my favorite part of the guns is like if you're using your side arm, where you're mostly just using it with one hand, and you pew 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 pew, and battery runs out. Just slap that right on your shoulder, back, come right back, and it's good to go again. Or if you're using the heavy, you slap it back, and then you just like push it in, and that just feels, that whole motion once you have it like down.
I agree.
That feels really, really, really good.
Yeah, you can. So each one of these weapons are battery powered, and it's the same battery for all weapons. And you can pop like once the battery is depleted, you can manually like reload in a way. You can grab your battery, put it in, and then pop it up. Or if you don't want to do that, if you, like Samson was saying, if you just hold the gun but put it behind your shoulder and then bring it back, it will reload for you as well, which is really handy. But yeah, like you said, Samson, I got the same when I ended up getting a shotgun. The amount, because it's only one bullet. I kept going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, and it's very satisfying when you get a good motion. In there.
But I also really like the sword play. It took me a really long time to get the parry down, or like to block, and then I would be too a bit overzealous, if you will. But if you're just a little bit patient, you can combo your gun to the sword, and it's pretty good. And eventually grenades. I always forget to use the grenades.
Me too. Yeah, me too. And you can block bullets and such with your weapons as well. So you could technically use, like, let's say we're talking about Star Wars and you're using a lightsaber to like parry the shots. You could technically do that. I wouldn't recommend it. It's much better to have just a shield up, but as certain options, if you're running at someone and they're shooting at you, you could put your sword to kind of block, depending on the bullets. Obviously, if it's a shotgun with millions of bullets hitting you at one time, then it's not really going to work. Let's talk about the like upgrades and such. And I know there's a lot of upgrades in here, so we definitely won't be able to go through all of them.
We want the people to discover them.
Yeah. But what let's go through each one of those though. Each one of the weapons. When it comes to the sword, what's your favorite upgrade that you've gotten for the sword so far?
I stuck with the sword for a very long time. Like the just OG, straight up sword.
The OG straight up sword, yeah.
And then eventually I switched to the like God axe. It's like sort of the God of War axe, so you can throw it, nice. Call it back, or use it like a sword. I do really like that. And then right when I got to the final boss, I unlocked the gravity mace. So I haven't used it yet because the final boss is not the time to use that.
What is the gravity mace? Do you know what it does? Or
it looks like it gives off a gravity force and they go freaking flying.
Oh, cool. So the one I use is, and I've only got one upgrade for my sword. I've actually not found any more, but I actually really like it though. It's like a machete. It looks like a machete as far as I can tell, but I don't know if it makes any difference to the combat. Maybe it does. There's one thing that I did see, that there's no like stats that tell you if you use this weapon you get like it's more damage or it's less accurate or anything like that. And I don't know if there is anything like that internally. There might be. It feels like it is, but it would be nice to see like, if you use this weapon, you'll get better range, but you'll lose out on something or something like that.
When you're doing the weapon upgrades, there are numbers present, like plus 30% rapid fire. Like there's a few others. I forget exactly.
Is there? Oh, yeah. I must have missed that then. Oh, okay, perfect. I must have missed that completely. That's good to see. I might have to look at that next time. But yeah, I've got the machete for that. For the pistol, I have actually found only one upgrade for the pistol as well. And I think it's one of the first ones that you get, so I haven't really upgraded it at all, so I don't really have much to say on that one. What about yourself for your sidearm?
Yeah, I think I mostly kept that one stock. There was a time where I went to use the little plasma. It's like a ball you charge up, but that's... I like the rapid rate of fire more than I like the big damage.
Fair enough. And then the heavy gun, I definitely have a couple to talk about here, and I think this is the one that you didn't find, right, is the crossbow.
No crossbow here.
I really enjoyed the crossbow. When I got the crossbow, and then after a couple areas, I found the shotgun, and I'll talk about that in a second. But the thing I loved about the crossbow is that you can shoot it quickly, but if you hold the trigger to charge it up, it shoots a more powerful a shot, essentially.
And it's like one shot at a time?
No. The crossbow has a few shots at a time. I don't remember on the top of my head because I haven't been using it recently. Maybe like 6 or so, or maybe a little bit more. But there's definitely quite a few. But the really nice thing about this is if you charge it up and you get a headshot, it normally, at least for the early on enemies, it kills them straight away. So it's kind of like a sniper.
Are you on normal mode or easy as well?
I'm on normal.
Wow.
I'm on normal. I've died a lot, but we'll talk about that. But yeah, it's really satisfying. It's not easy to pull off the headshots, but when you do, it's incredibly satisfying. So that's the crossbow. But then I did upgrade to the shotgun, and I didn't want to at first because I was loving the crossbow. But I was like, I thought I'd give it a try. Maybe I didn't realize at the time that these upgrades was something that you had to find, and it wasn't just like, oh, you're moving through that level, and they kind of give you an upgrade at the right time, because then you should probably use this.
Them, You can buy them.
Find them. You can buy. Okay, I haven't found any use of my money yet, so I haven't gone to a shop and bought anything. But maybe I need to dive more into that part of the game. But yeah, the shotgun's really nice because it's definitely shorter range, and it gives out a nice like plasma kind of effect as you're shooting the shotgun itself. It's only one bullet, so you want to reload every single time, but I find it more effective than the crossbow because you don't have to charge it up. You just have to press the button and you'll get the whatever the full power is. And this is how I took down the first boss. It was just constantly spamming that shotgun, and the first boss was fairly straightforward, probably because of this gun, to be honest. Yeah, so it brings a lot of balance to my weaponry. I feel like I have a proper heavy gun because it's quite powerful, and then I've got my pistol, which kind of is not doing much right now, and I feel like I need an upgrade to change that. And then my sword is used quite often, but I miss the crossbow a lot. Oh, one more thing real quick about the shotgun. It has recoil, like some of the heavy ones do, but the crossbow didn't have recoil. But this one's... it's pretty funny. I had a moment where there was a zip line, and I grabbed on the zip line with my left hand, and then my right hand was holding the shotgun, and there was an enemy down there, so I wanted to shoot them as I was ziplining down, but I forgot about the recoil, so even though I killed him, I went flying back, and I fell all the way down to the ground, and had to go all the way back up again, like you had just mentioned.
Really? The gun just pushed you off of it, even though you were holding on?
Even though I was holding on, the recoil pushed me straight off the zip line, and I fell down, and then I had to climb all the way back up. But I just couldn't stop laughing. I thought it was really funny, and then that happened. I was like, funny.
Dan, before I go into some of the guns, there is, as far as the crafting goes, there's also the refinery where you can sort of junk all your stuff to get money, which is kind of cool.
There's a lot of like random stuff like coils and heads and body parts and all that stuff. And yeah, the refinery is wicked. You just select all the stuff you want. You press the button, and then you see all the stuff going into like the fire or whatever, and then all of a sudden a bunch of money just appears, or it just comes out the slots, and it's all very interactive. It's all very VR. Like this is a perfect game to show what a proper VR game is. Like this game is a game that, sure, it would work on flat screen, but it feels so much better in VR because you have all that interactivity that they've baked in from the ground up. And yeah, it's great. But yeah, sorry, you were going to say your heavy weapon there that you wanted to.
Yeah, my favorite heavy weapon has been, it's sort of a laser beam that you can. It kind of reminds me of like a Ghostbusters beam, if you will. For sure. Yeah,
yeah, it does. Yeah, it
does. And now I've fully upgraded it, and it is a quality weapon. It goes far. It can be distance. It can it takes them out pretty good, and it sort of knocks them back too. So if they're up on you, you can use it, and it'll sort of make them stutter, and then you can go in with your sword if you'd like. It's a blast, and it has me not even wanting to try other upgrades for my heavy weapon.
Yeah, so I was using that one quite a lot, but then when I changed to the crossbow, I haven't gone back since yet, but I enjoy that one too, because you can just hold the beam on them as you're going. I'm pretty sure the enemies also have that same laser gun, and it's red.
I've been shot with it, yeah.
Yeah.
They're not quite as good with it as I am. At least on easy.
Well, we talked about the weapons. Let's talk about those enemies. There's a lot of variety of when it comes to the enemies itself. Samson, I'm sure you've seen way more enemies than myself, but the ones that I can just think of on like my recollection is that you have a standard soldier with a shield. Let's just say you have a kamikaze one who would jump at you and just blow up.
Beep, 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 beep.
It's not that sound, but yes.
No, you just don't. They don't beep. Oh, they beep.
They beep. Oh, I've not heard the beep.
Yeah, or maybe it's just a grenade.
Are you sure the grenade? Yeah, that's the grenade. That's just they just like jump and like forward.
Yeah,
roll,
they
like
roll.
You. Yeah. You got ones with shotguns. You got ones with like a variety of weapons. You have like big, powerful ones with sword and shield, which are like got green masks and such, which sometimes take a bit longer to kill, or they're just like a bit more trickier. You got one that shoots bombs. You have another that has like a sniper with that laser, basically. And then the first boss is like a big Groot, like kind of a big like enemy. I can't even, like, one of those like oversized kind of enemies that you've seen in other games. And it's funny because once you defeat the boss, and it's sometimes hard to defeat the boss because he has like is it a Gatling gun where you have like one of those heavy guns?
Yeah, like a machine gun type of like
yeah, and he's like firing that machine gun like crazy. And when you finally defeat him, because it can take a little while, depending on if you've got the right shot on. But then once you get into the next area, there's so many of the like. Now they're easier to kill, don't get me wrong, but they're still hard to kill, and there's so many of them.
The first time I did that, I was like, yeah, it took me so long to defeat him, and then you just get to the next area and you just see a bunch of them, and I was just like, I'll come back to this.
I'm like, wait, hold on. That was a boss, and now there's bosses everywhere, basically. Like I said, they're easier to kill than the actual boss was, but it still takes a lot compared to like the skinnier enemies, shall we say. What did you think about the enemy variety?
Variety's pretty good. I think there's a couple different ones on the inside of rooms, like. I feel like they were a little bit different, but I think you covered most of them. I think that new enemy type from the boss is just sort of becomes more regular, more prevalent, and then that's pretty much all of them, which is pretty good, honestly.
It's pretty good, yeah. It's a good variety, and it keeps.
And they're all smart. Like even on easy, they're taking cover. They.
Climb up walls. There's one that climbs and runs around and climbs and then runs away from you as well. and hide.
Or if you end up in the water, they'll just fall. They know where you are. There's no hiding from them.
Or they're just shooting through the water anyway. So it's like it's not much you can do.
One time I saw a couple of those big guys like across the way, like really far away, and there was no way for them to get to me. And I was like, I'm gonna just shoot them from here, see if I could take them out from afar. That was a bad idea. What I ended up doing was just going backwards and having them despawn and come back in, and so that they were unaggroed, if you will.
When you have a lot coming at you, it's almost impossible to get out.
Oh yeah, I tried to take on like 2 tops at a time, like 1 or 2 at a time, and then I work my way through. Because and I'm playing on easy, and they like if you're playing a little harder, I imagine it takes time to kill each one of these enemies.
Yeah, 2's tough actually when you are in like a tight space in like inside a room or something like that. It's you know what I really like actually. This is obviously part of the enemies is when you're in. There's a bunch of like underground like layers, shall I say? Not layers, but like underground pathways and rooms, and there's a whole like kind of underground network. And when you go down there in certain rooms and such, there's the cameras that are kind of looking left and right. And when they spot you, recruitments come in, and you have to then strategically like make your way around that room by obviously you basically chop them off the wall to disable them. I really like that, and like you said, they're really clever. I think the enemies are really well designed, really well coded. They change to melee when you're close, or they take cover like you mentioned. They throw bombs at certain areas. A lot of VR combat. A lot of enemies tend to be like maybe be a bit dumb or very vanilla, and you can see that in flat screen games as well. Reach is actually a perfect example of this. Reach's enemies are the worst part of it, and they're really dumb, and the way they're coded is not very good at all, and it makes combat feel like a chore. But when it comes to this game, it's the complete opposite. It's really exciting, and when you go to a brand new area, let's say it's an open area, and you see like there's probably like 8 or 9 enemies around, and you can see them. Some are on like different levels and such, but you can see them all walking around. You kind of like need to take a step back and just have a look what's around there and kind of plan your attack. If you see a couple of the big grunts, then maybe you want to try and just attack one and keep it to one. So you don't want to make sure the second grunt that you can see is just a little bit further. You don't want to alert them, so you want to try and do one at a time. But it makes you think, rather than having to you can just go in blind and just shoot your way through and it's a bullet hell. You actually need to plan your attacks, because otherwise you will die. And as I mentioned, I died quite a bit, especially as you get further and further into the game. The enemies get harder.
Yeah, the whole game, maybe I should say this for my overall thoughts, but okay. It overall kind of feels a lot like, it reminds me a lot of Hubris. Like the crafting is kind of similar. You can't really upgrade your guns in the same way, like as customizable. Like Hubris had gun upgrades, but it wasn't quite as like unique, if you will. The shotgun was always sort of a shotgun. And then it had platforming, not quite as much as I feel like this did, but a little bit different. And but the enemy AI is way better in this than it was in Hubris. And I really liked Hubris, but there were some times where the AI was not making the brightest of this, like as decisions as they were in this. Like they really would like grenade from afar. They would hide. They would take cover, switch weapons up close, break out their shield, etc. Really, really solid AI in this.
Yeah, I would love to interview the developer on this show about this game. I feel like you could talk for an hour plus, because there's so much that's gone into this game. And remember, they're an indie studio. You know? Yeah,
I still want Marvels.
Yeah, for sure. Let's talk about this. So we talked about the enemies there. Let's keep this this positive train going, Samson. Things that we enjoy. We've talked about the weapons and enemy types and such, and we've kind of looped this in. But just to continue more on that, when it comes to like things I can enjoy, like this list, we could speak for 2 hours. There's so much stuff in this, and I'm just going to name a few bits and bobs here. I love the world. And I've not even got further, like I've gone past the first kind of, shall I say, world or areas are very greenery. There's obviously lots of like underground stuff and like different rooms and such, but very green. And then the next world, which I've now just gone into, it's very, I think you said this in the show, Samson, very fall, very autumn is what it feels like. The leaves are changing. The leaves are changing. It's more like castle ruins, at least for the Elderwood Forest that I'm currently in. And yeah, the music as well at certain times is really good, like really, really good. Like I remember one stage where I was just at this area. I was doing this, not puzzle. I won't call it a puzzle, but more of like, trying to find what I needed to find to then unlock the next thing and such. And there was no enemies, but it was very green and where I was trying to find it. And it really took me back to like Halo 1 when you first crash land on the planet after the intro levels and that sense of wonder. And it's that sense of wonder, mystery, and obviously backed up with a beautiful soundtrack. This is not a Halo soundtrack, but it's still a pretty solid soundtrack, and it's really good. And yeah, the story might be a little lost on some people. I'm enjoying the story. I'm trying to really get into it, but you don't need to really pay too much attention, to be honest, to enjoy this game. But the environmental storytelling is enough to go around and you see like some of the ruins, or see more some of like the like so-called god statues, or there's one thing that's really cool, and this is part of like the collectible side quest, where when you first go into like the Nara alien race's like hideout or city kind of thing, which is very early on in the game, there's this one shop that you can go into, and it has on the green side, it has two sides. There's a red and a green side. On the green side, it has like a upgrade for your sword, and on the red side, it has like a lot of money, I think. And you can't access either of them because what it is basically this the Nara alien talks to you about this, but behind him there is a dial. On the left it's red, on the right is green, and there's one like dial in the middle. And essentially you got to do a lot. If you're going to do a lot of good, it will go further to the green, and then once it gets to the bottom, it will unlock that chip. If you do a lot of bad, it goes to the red. And how that's determined is that there's all these fallen soldiers in the wild, and when you find them, they have basically like this. It feels like a mask over them, which is like maybe a torture mask or something like that. But that's just
a helmet.
I thought it was like these were like prisoner masks or something, and right. That's like glowing green. But then they're also holding money, and essentially, if you take the money, it deducts in the red zone, so it's like -3% red, and they like flutter away. But if you don't take the money, if you just actually hit their, like, let's say prison helmet, then you do good, and you're like freeing them in a way, and then you get part to the green. So after I've been taking so much money at the start, I'm not gonna lie, I didn't really realize what I was doing. But after I realized that, I've been trying to free him and trying to get to that, because I want that upgrade for the sword.
I feel really like cool, it's 100%, but I could be wrong.
Yeah, you need it. You need to get it all the way.
But doesn't that mean if you've already not gotten some of them, how can you get it all the way?
I'm not sure if you need to be like 100% perfect. I think there's enough to get to 100%, I see. Basically. But some of them at the start, they're all over the place and you can see them. But as you get further into the game, some of them are quite hidden, and you just see them, and you just you try and get to the good zone, shall we say? Are you stealing the money, Samson? Are you taking the money from the dead prisoners, or
No.
Are you freeing them?
I free them every time.
Nice. So that's another thing that I really like. Those little side parts. The voice acting is really good. There's not much voice acting, but when you talk to the Nora alien, and you talk to the like main ones and such. There's memory cores as well. So as you're going around, there's lots of like memory collectibles where as soon as you collect it, there's like memory pops up into your like a voice, basically like an audio clip, and that memory audio clip is about the area that you're in or something about like the story, which is they're not super deep, but they give you the backstory, and that's really
they just
cool
kind of play
as
in
well.
the background.
Yeah, and it's not that long. Most of the clips are like maybe about, I don't know, 20 seconds, 30 seconds long maximum. But yeah, it just adds to the depth of this game and the lore. And yeah, and then obviously the combat and such is amazing. So like the things, I love this game. There's a lot of stuff that I love. And there's a few things that I don't like, which we'll talk about in a moment. But yeah, it's just a great game to jump in and get immersed. Is there anything else, Samson, that you wanted to mention that you really enjoy for the game?
I think you pretty much covered the last few things that I wanted to cover, which was the voice acting, and just the general flow of the game. Game good.
Yeah. Game good. I think the level design in the game loop, as you mentioned, is really good. I like that there's like hidden entrances, and you don't need to explore the whole map, but you can if you want. You can teleport across as well when you get to certain areas.
Have you done any fast traveling at all?
A few, yeah. When I finished the first boss, you had to go back to the Nara alien race's city, shall we say, or hideout, and that's like way far back. So that's the first time I ever teleported, and then once I did that stuff, I teleported back to where I was just so I could continue on in the game.
Right.
So that's the only time I did it, but it's very handy that you can. Did you do it at all, or?
I've definitely done it, I feel like, but it's not really my main. Normally,
Sometimes
I'm just going back
to.
and forth. Yeah.
Yeah, sometimes you don't need to as well. Unless, like, on your map, it tells you, like, other stuff that you can do for the side quests, and you can press track, and then it gives you a little arrow on top of your map.
Oh, I did that.
use the arrow quite a lot. Can we?
Dude, I would be holding my thing out so I could just follow the arrow.
You're definitely an easy gamer. I just want to mention quickly the hints as well, because I think by default you can have hints on, and it's like the hints can be basic or just like full on and such. And I'm not sure what the full on means. I don't know if you tried that, Samson. Did you change the hints to?
I did
like,
not full on hints?
It. I was surprised. I'm surprised. I thought you were going to like also. But the cool thing about the hints is if you turn that on is that when you're like lost or trying to find where you need to go and such, instead of like just showing you an arrow of where to go or something like that, obviously you can pull up the map and it will show you. But if you like look at a wall or something, there's a bit of graffiti which might show you like a symbol of what you're trying to look for, or
There's
maybe an
lot of
arrow
those, yeah.
showing that you should go up, or maybe like, oh, you should probably use your climbing daggers so you can go up. Really, really cool. The way they've done hints, so like that it's embedded in the game rather than like an actual UI element. In fact, there's no UI unless you obviously pull things up. It once again adds to the immersion, and it's another really thoughtful thing they've done with the design of this game.
For sure. Yeah, keep your eyes on those drawings for sure.
Yeah, you can turn them off too if you don't like it. So before we wrap up with our overall thoughts, quick things that you don't like or things that you feel like are missing or you wish that were improved. Is there anything that you wanted to mention?
Well, I agree with you with the shield placement. Pulling up the inventory and then grabbing it's a bit cumbersome, and I do wish I don't know how to make it easier access, but I didn't find myself using the shield that much because I was on easy, but I do feel like I need it for that final boss, Stan.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. Because you have to press the X button and hold it with your. So obviously, if you hold it with your left hand, if you're right-handed, the X button is also on the left hand. So it's kind of awkward to press the X button again and grab the grenade or something like that, which pulls up from your inventory. I do really wish. That was one of my things as well, that you could just have a shield over your left shoulder and maybe over your right shoulder you could have the heavy gun. or you could have it in front of you. You can have the batteries in front of you, but having like the syringes in front of you, like on Reach, you could have your syringe on your like chest, so you could just grab it. Having the syringe, you have to press the B button for the syringe to appear in front of you. Then you have to grab it and do it, and it's much easier or much better and much intuitive if it was just on you. That's why I'm really interested if I was to talk to the developers, because they've thought of so much when it comes to the VR immersion of this game. But when it comes to the inventory for shield and grenades and the health packs, for some reason that is the very like opposite of what any of the rest of the design of Arken Age is, which is a really interesting choice, which makes me think that they must have tried it and maybe it didn't work well.
I assume there were many iterations.
Yeah, I'm curious to see why they went that way. But yeah, is there anything else when it comes to things that are missing?
I have fewer improvements, so to say, for this game as I do like with things I want to see in a sequel or like their next game, right? Like I want more customizable weapons. I want a couple cutscenes, even though I don't really know how to best do cutscenes in VR. I want some like, set pieces or something like that. Maybe, how in Assassin's Creed, there are the bits where you have to go really fast to do some platforming. Like I forget what those were called, but maybe some sort of platforming extra. Like they had us looking
like a speed run kind of thing when you have to
like
jump
if there's a little tower,
things.
Exactly. Like there's a tower, like
a watchtower, and you
exactly.
Can see
like
a viewpoint and such. Yeah.
Climb up this and trying to hit these waypoints and then try and do it in a certain amount of time. Some sort of like platforming parkour test, if you will. But overall, I feel like it's a great first Arken Age game.
Oh yeah, I that's exactly why I put in my like other things that are missing is that all the drawbacks, like maybe the draw distance ain't that great on Quest, and it doesn't take you out the game like I mentioned.
It's like a hardware issue, yeah.
It's more like maybe on Arken Age 2 on the probably Quest 4, and it has more time to bake and learn from what it's done on this first iteration on a mobile chip. It's probably going to be able to squeeze more juice out of the headset in general, and such for sure. But those are all like, it doesn't really matter for now. It's Arken Age 1 is a fantastic game. But yeah, I think that's a great suggestion to have like more depth when it comes to the little elements of the world. So adding like maybe there's like a massive tree and there's something hidden in the tree, but it's just a side quest or just like a random, there's like one of the Nora aliens just there being like, hey, there's a challenge, try and get up to that tree in then 10 seconds and get the thing and I'll give you an award or something like that. And it's just something side things that you can see in like the Zelda games, for example, or other kind of adventure games like Assassin's Creed, that it would be great. I agree. I think that's a really good suggestion. Have you used so you have sometimes the flying bugs. Have you grabbed onto them at all?
Yeah, they bring you to like
different spots and such.
Yeah, places you need to get to. Yeah.
Yeah, it's when I first did that, it was really cool because there's like just these bugs and you grab a hold of them. When you hold them, you look at the bug and you're like, they're kind of gross, but really, really fun. All right, Samson, let's wrap this part up with our overall thoughts. Is there anything else you wanted to say or anything you wanted to add, or did you want to just wrap up this segment?
Yeah, some overall thoughts, Dan. Arken Age had me captured right from the start, the second time I started it. It starts quite grand with that huge lady in front of you, and then you kind of, the Grand Arborist, I think it is, right? And then you turn around and you see just the beautiful, lush city. It's pretty incredible. It's a great way to start the game. I really had fun with this adventure. Combat it's both like intricate, but not too much for me, right? Like I never really felt overwhelmed like I do sometimes in combat games like this. That is until the final boss. The enemies are smart, and I played on easy. Like they're this smart on easy. Jiminy crickets. Arken Age sort of checks all the boxes you'd want if you're seeking this style of like adventure game. You know, it's got story, it's got combat, it's got the AI, it's got New Game Plus for you crazy people out there. It's got weapon upgrades, customizable weapons, like weapon variety, and then just some really VR things like weapon reloading we've mentioned, or how you have to hold a head up to a camera so you can get into a room.
We haven't talked about that. We haven't even talked about that. We talked about the head. We talked about the head, but we didn't give any reasons of what it is. We gotta mention it real quick because there's certain things to open or like rooms to unlock or something like that, but you can't do it without having authorization, and it's facial authorization. So what you do is you grab a head from one of the enemies, and you can use their head, and the scanner scans the head, and you can see the scanner like laser go over the head and such, and then it opens the room or so. And then when you like defeat the first boss, all of a sudden all these rooms that you couldn't go into throughout the whole game so far, you can now go back and use the head to kind of go through. And yeah, I mean, honestly, there's a lot of this game that we probably still haven't talked about, but there's so much.
It's good for the people to get it on their own.
Exactly.
It's not like we haven't talked about anything. But yeah, this game gets a recommendation for me. If that's not clear, worth every penny. A really fun adventure, and sci-fi fantasy not usually my thing.
Yeah, me too.
So, take that, and I've really got to try more of these guns out. So
I've got to find them.
Yeah, I do. I do have to do some searching.
Yeah, you got to find
Arken Age. It's good. It's a good game.
My overall thoughts is pretty much similar to what you just said. Like every now and again, when it comes to the VR platform, there's a special game that comes around which like captures the same magic of when you first got into VR in the first place, and you saw, like, for me it was like I remember playing like Resident Evil 7 in VR, or playing like a Walking Dead Saints and Sinners, and absolutely loving being so immersed in that world, and it shows you how cool it is when VR gets it right, of how cool that medium is and how space it is. And, the special games that nail that are the games that are just purely fun. Like, so fun to play in VR because of all the interactivity, because of how well it's been designed. Now, obviously for flat screen games, you get a lot of big games, and not most of the time, but some of them hit the nail on the head. There's more games coming out and such. In VR, I feel like they're further apart, obviously. And sometimes we're lucky to get these type of games like once a year. And we had Batman last year, which was a big one. This year, obviously, we have Ghost Town already. Ghost Town met this criteria. It checked all the boxes for being like a VR masterpiece of a game. Like, it's not perfect. That doesn't mean it's perfect. But it's like, if you got a VR headset, what games do you want to play to capture that VR magic of why you want to play in VR over playing on the console or something like that? Ghost Town is a great one for that. And it's got the good story, it's got a good the VR immersion, like I said, and Arken Age is exactly like that too. It's the second game we have this year that fits that criteria to a T. It doesn't mean the game's perfect like I meant, but like it's so special. And now I need to finish it more to call it like an actual masterpiece as such. Like I said, I'm 40% in, but I should think this game should be spoken about in the same breath of like AAA titles like Batman Arkham Shadow, Half-Life Alyx. Like, it's one of the best games you can buy on Quest 3 without a doubt. So is Ghost Town, as I mentioned. So is Batman. We could probably do a list in a specific episode to talk about these like quote unquote like top tier games of Quest 3, but Arken Age is one of them. And the fact that we had Star Wars coming out, Reach, Arken Age, Deadpool, and Thief being like the big five that are coming out, if we could just get one that fits this criteria, it's a massive win, and we've already got it. So bring on Deadpool, bring on Thief. Let's see if they can get close to this. And if they get anywhere near this game, we're going to be having a great rest of the fall. For sure. But that's our Arken Age review.
You're blowing up that hype balloon.
It's fantastic. I love this game so much. I think it's amazing. If you have playing Arken Age and such, obviously let us know your thoughts in the comments, and we'll read them out. We'll probably talk about it more and more as we go by, to be honest with you. But yeah, that will do for our big Arken Age part 1. In part 2, we'll talk about basically what we've been playing, anything else in this, and a few games out this week. So a much shorter part 2 and 3, but we'll see you then.
Hey, we know public lobbies in VR games can be a bit toxic, feel a bit empty at times. That's why we created the Let's Talk Oculus Discord, a friendly community that you can join for multiplayer meetups, general VR chat, the game, and chat about VR, fitness motivation, and there's even a very impressive 3D printing channel. Join over 100 of our community members in the Let's Talk Oculus Discord for free. The link is right in the description.
All right, welcome back to part 2. This is obviously our special Arken Age episode, but you've heard our glowing review of the game. Now, Samson, let's talk about what else we've been playing or doing in VR, not exactly playing. I'll start off with you, Samson. What else have you been playing other than Arken Age?
With me? Well, Dan, I got back into some Dungeons of Eternity with some Noble Squashy as my teammate. We took on a couple real big dungeons. I'm pretty certain these dungeons are bigger than when I used to play, because one of the ones we picked had, I don't know, I want to say 15 to 20 rooms.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, really enjoying it.
Nice.
It sort of feels like the inverse of when me and Squashy play Ancient Dungeon.
Yeah.
You know, in that he's got to really lead me. Whereas in this, I'm so
Nice.
Until he reaches my level of character, then I'm sure he'll take over leading again.
Basically, a tit for tat.
Yeah, but yeah, Dungeons of Eternity, really enjoying it. They've got a little Halloween update if you want to check it out. Dungeon crawler roguelite. You collecting loot throughout random dungeons and taking down the enemies. You get a weapon on your left, a weapon on your right, and then a weapon on your back. I just recently got sort of like a crossbow type of deal, but it's got reload. My old one had reload 5, which means you could shoot 5 before you had to reload. Now I've got 8.
Oh. And they have arachnophobia mode, just for anyone who can.
They do. Yes, they do. Do you want to talk a little bit about you, or do you want me to keep going?
Go. You do one more.
I'll do a nice little short one here because it's a Halloween season. So I got back into Switchback VR because a sort of smaller YouTube channel did a sort of a re-look at Switchback recently, and that got me to dive back in. So I did the first 2 levels, I believe, and I think I'm going to get back in again to finish out Halloween week this week. But I was playing, and my girlfriend and her daughter were in the same room watching. And, you know, I jumped a few times when enemies, you know, pop out at you. And I took the headset off, and my girlfriend's daughter just says, "That game was kind of scary, huh?" I was like, yeah, it was.
Yeah, Switchback is scary for sure. But it's fun that they get to watch you play it on the TV screen as well.
I like the social screen.
Yeah, I think we've done episodes in the past around Halloween over like horror games, but I don't really play them anymore. I've kind of I feel like as I've gotten slightly older, I get more scared in VR when it comes to horror. And maybe that's just me in my head. Just, I don't know. What is it? Your frontal cortex just starts to grow or something like that. And it's just, forget about it.
You did like a Five Nights at Freddy's, right?
Yeah, but that I was 26 or 27. I'm now 31. Things have changed. That was episode 10 of the,
yeah, wow, your
by the way,
YouTube channel is old.
Exactly. With the Arken Age, by the way, I did get jump scared a few times of just like being in a room and then all of a sudden an enemy just attacked me from behind or just from the side and I didn't notice and I'm like,
Are you playing with headphones on?
No.
I think it's got pretty good 3D audio on the PlayStation.
Oh, fair enough. All right, I'll talk about what I've been doing. I've not been playing anything else in VR this week apart from just playing a lot of Arken Age. And I guess actually, no, I lie. I did play a little bit of Masternoid. Samson, you've been talking about this game quite a lot. There's a free trial on there that you can jump in with. And it's basically a brick breaker game. That's the gist of it. But obviously, in VR, I'd say the bricks that you're trying to break aren't like a 3D object, and they all have like particles to them. So every time you hit it, there's a bunch of particles that fall down and such. And actually, it looks really good when it comes to those physics of the particles breaking. And it's a very relaxing, chilling game to play in VR, especially in between play sessions of Arken Age, because you can just sit down. The room's mostly dark, and you have the colorful object that you're breaking in front of you, and it gets challenging as well. Like as you get on, some of these are quite difficult, especially when you've got like 2 balls at once, and
you can get up to 4.
You have to 4. Okay, I've not got up to 4, but sometimes you can't keep track, and then you lose them all, and then one hits you, and then your health goes down. I understand the hype, Samson. It seems like a very simple game on the surface, and you should definitely try the trial because it's the 30-minute trial. And I think it's like $10 US.
It's 15, I think.
Is it 15? But I would, I'd recommend at least playing the trial because it's very relaxing. Think about a stripped down Tetris Effect. It still has good music, it still has good visuals, but it's not got like immersive visuals like Tetris Effect does, and it doesn't have like Tetris Effect kind of wants you to play with headphones as well to really get the whole atmosphere of it. This one is like a stripped down version, and in that case, it makes it even more like relaxing. It's actually a fun game. It's a fun game.
Masternoid.
But let me talk about what I have been doing. So I wanted to give Horizon Workrooms or the remote desktop in the Quest another go because they...
You hate yourself. Sorry.
It's just because a lot of people have just got this new Apple Vision Pro and now the Galaxy XR, and I see people with it, and I'm like, the other day I think I was it was late at night, but I was sat at the kitchen counter and I had my laptop and I was actually doing some coding, and I was like, you know what, let me have the big screen because I don't want to be in my den where it's a little bit claustrophobic, especially when you're working all day. So let's just go sit in the kitchen, let's put the headset on, and let's have a big screen. Oh dear, Samson, it's so bad. It's so bad. So essentially, it's really easy to set up. You download the Meta Remote Desktop app on your Mac or PC, and then you log into your credentials, and that's all you need to do. Because then on your Quest headset, there's always Remote Desktop on there. So there's 2. There's Remote Desktop, and then there's the Workrooms itself where you can take meetings. I tried both. So Remote Desktop first. They have a new ultra-wide setting and such, which sounds great on the basis. And you can make the screen massive, and you can have up to 3 screens at a time. And one of the best things about it is that you can do it in pass-through, and then you can dim the pass-through, so it actually kind of is nice. However, first of all, it's limited that you can only have horizontal screens. You can't have like a vertical screen or change the aspect ratio or such on such. So that's a small thing. The biggest issue is the resolution. It's like standard definition rather than HD in a way.
Read?
You can read. So I stopped doing the coding and I was like, let me do some of the script for today's episode on it. And I think this was the weekend when I was doing this. So it's like Sunday. I was like, let me just write some of the script because that's easy enough, right? I'm just writing a script, writing a text editor. After just 5 minutes, my eyes were getting strained. Like it really hurt because it was just not sharp. Like it's slightly has that little blur on it. It's like if you went to a cable channel or a sports channel or something and you watch the video on standard definition rather than HD on your monitor or on your TV. It's a big difference. And that's the worst part about this because I couldn't do it. I couldn't really, I spent like 15 minutes, I think, total in it. And my head was hurting and felt my eyes were strained. And it sounds so silly, but it was just, I was like, this is terrible. And also there's like an immersive view where the pass-through dims, but then the ultra-wide gets really big and you focus in on one monitor. So instead of having 3, you can only have 1. So it's limited. Once again, that's really nice. But another problem with it is that it's fixed in terms of where it is. So you can't bring the screen further closer to you, like it's fixed. So when I was in the kitchen counter, it was like fixed where my microwave is, which was a good, like, I don't know, maybe like 2 meters away, a meter and a half away from where I was sitting. And I couldn't bring it forward or anything like that. So it just didn't feel good at all. But like I said, the resolution's the worst part about it. At least I was thinking if I could move it forward to me, it'd be easier to read. But it was just, so it's not like you can't read it. I can read all the text. It's fine. It's just because it's slightly blurry. It's straining on your eyes. And then it's not really laggy. It's pretty good when it comes to the lag. But if I switch desktops, so if I'm on my like desktop 1 on my Mac and I switch to desktop 2, that motion of switching is very laggy. That's the only, like, it's not, there is a slight lag as you're doing your work, but it's not a big deal, to be honest. But yeah. So then I moved over to Horizon Workrooms. So I was like, let me just try that really quickly. This one's even worse. It has no features whatsoever. It now is completely stripped down, so it only has one virtual environment. You can't do pass-through in there. You can't...
Are they phasing it out?
I think so. So you can go... There's 3 modes. You can go full immersive, which is basically... you have the virtual environment, but you can't really do that because you need to see your keyboard. Then you can do semi-immersive, where there's a cutout with your keyboard, and I lied. There is pass-through. You can do pass-through, but you can't dim the backgrounds. So in remote desktop, you could. In that one, you can't, which is actually a big deal. All 3 screens have to be the same size. So if you make one bigger, all 3 of them have to be unison. You can't make one bigger, one smaller, and closer to you. And so, yeah, you can bring them closer to you, but they're in unison. And yeah, that's pretty much it. So it's more limited than the remote desktop. The remote desktop's better than that one, but once again, it still has a focus issue. So all in all, a whole big disappointment. And I didn't expect the most best like Apple Vision Pro, but if you download Immersed on Quest, you can change the resolution to be sharp as the Mac screen and such, and it's great. So the fact that you can do it, but the Meta's own version can't, it's really weird.
Whatever happened to that immersed visor? That was a big thing a little bit ago.
I don't know. I got an email from them recently to like invest in them, to like buy stocks and such.
I hope you didn't.
But I know, I didn't. So yeah, that's my experience in that. So if you ever wanted to try that, then you should probably not. Samson, was there one more thing that you wanted to mention with games?
Yes, there was. I also got into Walkabout on Sunday night. Sunday night my time. It was Joel joined his afternoon, and Kimmy Kai joined. It was her even earlier afternoon. And Dan,
nice.
And Dan, it's been years since I got a chance to play mini golf with Kim. And
I haven't seen her for a long time.
She had the same avatar. It was like, it really felt like just like seeing an old friend. You know what I mean? Just like after so long.
We love you, Kimmy.
Yeah, it was a great time. We, I think we did a couple of the courses for the week.
That's fun.
Missed and, oh God, I forget what the hard one was. Off the top of my head. But we had a great time.
Nice, very good, very good. All right, what we'll do is instead of going into part 3, let's just wrap this show with the games out this week because there's only 2 out. Samson, the first one, it's Arken Age. It's Arken Age.
It
We've
is
talked
out.
about it already. It's $30. It is out as now. Arken Age is a single-player VR adventure game set in the biochasm of a terraformed fantasy world created by the Grand Arborist. Engage in full physics combat using Arcanite-infused swords and guns and freely explore the diversely filled environments under siege by Hyperion's neural corruption. I didn't bother putting the rest of the thing in because we've just talked about it for a whole hour and 10 minutes. But we've not much to say about this. Samson, you think you're going to check it out?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so too.
I have already bought it on the 2 other platforms. It's all.
There you go. Perfect. So yeah, go buy Arken Age. Phenomenal game. Samson, what's the last game coming out this week?
The House of Golf. Bring the world's first mixed reality mini golf game to life with House of Golf VR, where fun meets creativity. Step into vibrant VR courses filled with tricky obstacles, colorful themes, and exciting challenges. Switch to mixed reality and design your own mini golf holes anywhere. Anywhere? Anywhere. Your living room, garden, or even the office can become a golf playground. House of Golf VR blends the charm of classic mini golf with the freedom of mixed reality and virtual reality. Build and customize holes with ramps, hazards, and wild designs. Then tee off right where you stand. Mixed reality transforms everyday spaces into imaginative golfing adventures. Along the way, discover mystery boxes with unique golf balls to personalize your game. From quick casual rounds to chasing that perfect hole-in-one, House of Golf VR offers something for everyone. With stunning VR visuals, intuitive controls, and limitless mixed reality creativity, this is a mini golf like you've never played before. House of Golf.
Yeah, House of Golf. Very cool, very different because, like you mentioned in that, it's a mixed reality game where you can set your own course up or change things
I'm buying
around,
it.
which is, yeah, I think this is, hopefully it works really well, but I think it's really fun. Imagine just going out, I mean, you're not going out in the garden anymore, it's too cold, but...
I'll go out in the garden.
it-
Challenge accepted.
I'll
get-
go for it.
I'll get hypothermia for golf.
Yeah, just for golf. I hope it looks as good as the screenshots and such are showing, or her plays as well. But yeah, hopefully we can, if you're getting that, Samson, hopefully we can talk about that on next week's show. With a House of Golf.
Mum's word.
I like how it's different to Walkabout Mini Golf. Like, it obviously, it's a mini golf game. It's going to be hard to compete with like a leader in a niche space. And the fact that they're doing a mixed reality version, or mixed reality, and having their own kind of like, it looks like a proper crazy golf kind of style, which is going to be fun. So hopefully it works and plays as well as it sounds, because it looks like a fun one.
I wonder if you'll be able to do like same room mixed reality. Like, could I set up like a 3-hole course in my living, and play it with somebody? That might be a challenge. Anyway.
Some locomotion. Locomotion? Not locomotion.
Locomotion.
Not locomotion. That's walking.
Now I want to sing that song. I don't know the words to.
I don't know what I'm talking about. It's late. There's a baseball game going on, and
Oh my god, home run! I'm just kidding.
That's our show for today. Thanks everyone for listening. Thanks everyone for watching. Like I said, if you have any comments on either the game, Arken Age, or anything else, put it in the Discord, put it in the episode discussion, put it in letstalkoculus@gmail.com or our Spotify or YouTube comments. We look at all the places before the show ends. I've been Dan, as always. This waving man
I'm
on
Samson.
the right of me. It's Samson. And we will catch you next week.